Hi, my name is Stephanie Aikatwan Michaels, founder and CEO of the Stephanie Michaels Software Company. Alrighty, so let's go over what's been happening over the past couple of weeks. And we're going to go over also in this video some potentially very exciting news. And we're also going to go over some reality checks for new developers that are growing up in the AI era of software development. Okay. So, this video is in particular going to be very eye opening for anyone who either doesn't know anything about developing software or to those of you who do know something about developing apps. We're going to discuss the difference between apps, quick little apps that you can make with AI in 2 days or a month, versus something as sophisticated as a digital content creation tool. Okay. All right. So let's start with the exciting news. So, a few days ago, I met with the former executives at CNN, Cartoon Network, and Disney. And I had a meeting with them on Friday, this Friday. And in that meeting, we talked about Univah. And in that meeting, I told them some of the frustrations and some of the um, issues that I've been having. I basically just told them the truth. I said, hey, listen, I own 100% shares of my company. I've maintained control of this company. I do majority of the work myself. And I'm getting to the point where I really need help to scale. I need help to grow this company. I need more help because I'm doing a lot of the heavy lifting and it's preventing me from really focusing on what I should be focusing on. So he was like, yeah, he understood because he's worked with a lot of startups. He's worked with a lot of small companies. And then I told him the truth. I said, listen, right now, our company is famous, but we're famous to the wrong people. This is exactly what I said to them. I said, we're famous, but we're famous to the wrong people. I've got billion-dollar companies watching me. I've got billionaires studying me. And they want to rebrand themselves using my ideas. They don't want to credit me. They love our brilliance. They love what we're doing. But what they want to do is they want to undermine us while also studying us at the same time. They don't want to admit that we're great. Yet I keep catching them trying to use my ideas, trying to use my positioning, copying words that we use in our articles, copying things we say on our Twitter, copying things we say all over the internet, things that I say on my website. They will steal it and try to put it on their website. Compliments that people give us in our videos, they're going to try to take our compliments given to us and apply it to themselves. So it's just a lot of that going on. They want to be us so bad. And so this is exactly what I told the CNN guy who also worked at Cartoon Network and Disney. Okay. I told him this on Friday. We had a meeting on Friday and I told him the truth. I told him what's going on. I told him the issues we're having. I told him everything. And he said, you need to be connected with some people at Cartoon Network and Disney. And he said he will make the introduction for me. I said, okay, thank you so much. That's really wonderful. But hold on, because you haven't seen my software yet. I need you to first take a look at it. Let's have a meeting, just you and me. When you have time, I'm going to demo the tool for you. I can show you how to download it. I'm going to show you what makes us different. And then if you like it, if you believe in this tool, then take me to Cartoon Network, take me to Disney, take me to all your friends, and I will do a meeting and a demo for them. So that's what I said to him on Friday. He said, okay. So he told me he's going to London next week and he's going to be busy all of next week. He's going to be in London. And when he comes back from London, then we're going to do a meeting about Univah. So I said, okay. Um, so that's what happened on Friday. Now, the week before Friday, what happened is I met another very important person who is connected to Apple computers. And I've been looking for an in with Apple for quite some time now, as you guys know. Okay. So I'm trying to get in with Apple. I'm trying to get in with Microsoft. And I needed a connection. I needed somebody who's on the inside who believes in this product and will make that connection and will get me in the door. So I met that person, and this was last week, Friday. And I've met him now twice. So the goal is to set up a meeting with him, the guy from Apple, and have him connect me to some higher ups at Apple. And we're going to demo Univah for everybody that we can to see who's interested in backing this tool. Because at this point, we're now at the point where I am ready to be venture backed. I wasn't ready before, but now I'm ready to be venture backed. That's why it was so important for me to maintain 100% shares. I wasn't allowing anybody to just become a partner, because when you have all these different partners, this one owns 33% of the company, that one owns 33% of the company, it just dilutes the company. So I wanted to make sure that I have 100% shares of this incredible company, this incredible product, so that when I'm ready to be venture backed, I have a lot to offer. Okay. So, and I still want to maintain at least 51% shares of my company. I want to have controlling majority and, voter shares. So, uh, I don't believe in losing control of my own company. I just don't believe in that. So, I can give up to 50%. I mean, 49% is what I'm willing to do, but I'm not letting anyone have 51% of my company. That's never going to happen. Okay. Unless I'm just ready to be acquired, then I'll just sell the company and exit. Okay. So, um, it's really great that the CNN guy, Disney guy, Cartoon Network guy wants to make the introduction with me, between me and these big studios. So that's really great. Warner Brothers. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so I'll keep you guys up to date with what's going on there. Here's the goal. The thing is, Univah is so powerful, and because it's so powerful, we really cannot afford to continue going the way we're going. The way that we're going, and this is what I said to the CNN and Cartoon Network guy. We're at a point now where being small is a huge downfall to us, because we're too good to be ignored. We're too good for billionaires to ignore us. We cannot pretend that we're not a threat, because we are. And so, because we're such a disruptor and because we're such a threat to big companies, we have to get backing from a bigger company. We have to be playing on the same level as these bigger companies in terms of capital. Because when the Univah Film Engine gets a venture capitalist or gets a very big, like huge check from Disney or from Cartoon Network or from CNN or whoever, from Warner Brothers, whoever wants to back this tool, that's going to change everything. I will single handedly transform the 3D industry with this tool, because I know what artists want. I know that this is what every artist is looking for. I know that these legacy DCCs are problematic as hell to work with. They're difficult to learn. And I am going to create this platform for every filmmaker, for every 3D animator, and we will make animating fun again. We're going to make it easy. And with the capital that I can get from these people, the only bottleneck will be creativity. And that's not a problem for me. I'm very creative. I already know every single feature that I want to add to this tool. And when I have the capital, and I will assemble my own team. I have to assemble my own team. So I don't work with the team that you give me. I assemble my own team. I will build my own team, and we will continue building this thing to what I know it can be. And this will become the new platform for all filmmakers. Okay. So we are going to transform this film industry for the better forever. That's going to be what the Univah Film Engine is. So I told him everything. I told him about the issues. I told him about the copyright strikes with Reillusion. I told him everything. And so I said, so he asked me if we have a free trial. I said, yes, we have a free trial. He said, good. And then he asked me, I told him, I said, right now we're being very generous. We're letting people download our tool for free. And he said, yes, that's good, but be careful, not to just let anybody download the tool. I said, hey, I understand. That's why in the beginning, we weren't just letting people download our software. We were extremely strict. And some people called me mean for it. Some people said I was mean because I was very strict and I put some warning messages out there. So some people said I was very mean in the beginning. But uh, the guy from CNN agreed with me. The Disney guy agreed with me. The Cartoon Network guy, he said, yes, you don't just want anybody downloading your tool in the beginning because they're going to copy it. They're going to study you and copy you and not credit you. So the people higher up, they understand my positioning. They understand why I do what I do. And they told me on Friday, they said, continue to fiercely defend your software. That's literally what came out of his mouth. He said to me, continue to fiercely defend your tool. If you catch somebody copying your positioning, your wording, your branding, you have to defend and protect your IP. So this is coming from people that work at Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network, CNN, and they're telling me defend, 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 because if you don't, they'll walk all over you. Okay. So it was really reassuring. That meeting did a lot for me because it went from me feeling like, am I being too mean? Am I being selfish? Am I supposed to just let people walk all over me? Am I supposed to just let big companies take and take and take and give nothing back to me in return? Is that how you play the game? Am I just supposed to be some loser that you just walk all over? No. So hearing them tell me that I'm doing the right thing was just like really, really good for my like self-esteem. Not that my self esteem was taking a blow, but it was just really reassuring. Okay. Because I was like, okay, finally, I'm speaking to people that understand business. I'm not speaking to some silly YouTubers that think I'm mean. I'm speaking to business people that work in the very companies that most people are dying to work at, you know? So when I have business execs from Cartoon Network, from Disney telling me defend your software, don't let just anybody download your tool. Make sure with the free trial that you don't show them too much. This came from like, this is what this guy's telling me on Friday. He's like, make sure you don't show them too much. And I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what I've been saying. You're saying exactly what I've been telling people on the internet. I'm not showing anything else. We're not showing any more new features. I posted this on Twitter. We are not showing any more new features until the Univah Film Engine gets some sort of backing, gets some sort of worldwide exposure. We need a lot of exposure. We need a lot of help with marketing. And when we become more popular, then we can show more of our features. Until then, we're going to build in secret, build in silence, and we're the only thing we're showing is what we've already shown you. So we're not showing any more new features until we get massive exposure. And so he said, that's a great idea. That's exactly how you want to play it, especially if you're noticing that these big companies are copying your work. If they're trying to copy your brand style, if they're trying to copy your brand messaging, trying to copy your brand positioning, then you need to stop giving them ideas. Stop giving them, don't give them any more ideas that they can use. So starve them of ideas, starve them to death. Go silent and let them have to come up with things on their own. And people are going to realize they don't have any creativity. When they have to come up with things on their own, people are going to realize where the ideas were really coming from. So I was like, okay, that's a great strategy. That's exactly what I'm doing. He's just, you're not telling me anything I don't already know. That's exactly what I'm doing. I told you we're not sharing anything new. I haven't shared anything about Make Me, which is our character creator software. I haven't shown any of, they don't even know what the UI looks like. I haven't shared anything and I'm not going to. And when it comes to the Univah Film Engine, our new features, we're not sharing anything. For months, I haven't made a new video showing anything new. That's it. So we're keeping things very locked. We're going to make sure that, we're going to make sure that we, you know, we don't give them any new ideas because people need to see that they don't really have any. Okay. People need to see who the creative one is, and it's me. Without me, they're going to just do silly things and copy each other. But if I keep giving all these revolutionary new ideas and they want to use my ideas, but then they're trying to gaslight me and trying to make me feel like my ideas aren't good, but they're good enough for you to copy them, but you're trying to claim my software isn't good. So yeah, we're not sharing anything else with the public at all. Okay. So it was really awesome that they agreed with me and they understood where I was coming from. And they said that was very smart. So I was like, yes. Okay. Now, here is some advice that I'll give to this new generation of AI assisted coding developers. Okay. I had two Asian guys come to me on Thursday and they were like telling me how they want to make an AI startup and blah, 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 AI this and AI that. And then they saw my software and just, as usual, people think AI can just build something like Univah in 2 months. And I was like, no, it doesn't take 2 months to build something like Univah. It takes years to build something like Univah because Univah is not some silly little app. This is not Base 44. You can't use something like Base 44 and build something like Autodesk Maya. You're not going to be able to use Claude and just type a prompt and boom, you have a fresh version of Unreal Engine. That's not how it works. When you're dealing with highly complex software like Univah Pro, Autodesk Maya, Houdini, Unreal Engine, you don't, that's way beyond what Claude can do or Base 44 or any of these silly little apps. Okay. Not saying Claude is silly. Claude is amazing. It's a great coding tool. But you have to understand that there's a huge difference between building some silly little app that you can put on the App Store, okay, that you can build in 2 months versus building something like this. And so that's what I was trying to tell these Asian guys on Thursday because they just didn't know. They don't know the difference between a complex, sophisticated graphics application versus some tiny little app that you can put on your phone. So trying to explain that to them was very interesting. But eventually they understood what I was talking about because I was like, look, we work in the kind of industry where it takes 2 to 3 months sometimes just to write one shader. If we have to write a very complicated shader, it takes months to learn how to write some shaders, especially realistic water. Very realistic water, getting that right alone can take 3 months. Realistic hair shaders can take months to perfect. Realistic clouds can take months to perfect. Even if you're using AI, you could get the best AI assisted coding tool to help you. It's still going to take months to perfect. It's going to take days, sometimes weeks, just to debug all of the things wrong with graphics applications. It's not write code and then boom, it just works. There's a lot of debugging. 90% of it is debugging. And you have to understand how to use tools like RenderDoc to debug graphics applications, to debug applications that have um, like compute shaders, GPU related stuff. It is difficult. It takes a lot of time. So we're going way beyond what Claude or any of these AI tools, assisted coding tools can do because, um, even with the most complex coding AI tool, when you have graphics and you have to debug what's wrong, you need a graphics programmer who understands debugging in order to do that. You're not just going to wave a magic wand and Claude is going to know that, hey, this is what's wrong with your compute shader, or this is what's wrong with your rasterizer, or this is what's wrong with your, so there's a lot that goes on just to write one shader. And when you're working on a software as big as Univah with thousands of shaders, uh, so yeah, it takes months to perfect a shader, depending on the complexity of that shader. So when you have some silly little 18-year-old kid who has made some tiny little app with Claude AI, and they think, or they think you can go to Base 44 or use Claude AI, type a few prompts, and boom, you're going to get something like Univah. They're in for a rude awakening. And I'm like, well, if you think it's that easy, then why do you think these big companies are worried about Univah? Why do you think? If it's as easy as you think, why are big companies worried about Univah? Why are they trying to be us? Why couldn't they have just used AI and put us out of business? Haven't you thought of that? What's stopping any developer out there from just using any AI tool like Claude? What's stopping the next graphics programmer that watches his video from getting inspired by Univah and going to Claude AI and trying to reverse engineer Univah? What's stopping them? You know? So, I had these guys, these little 18-year-olds, they came to me and they were like, "Yeah, we can reverse engineer any software with Claude." And I was like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, you should be a trillionaire." You should be and so he was telling me, "Yeah, I used Claude AI and I was able to reverse engineer an app. I saw an app that I liked and I was able to reverse engineer it using Claude." And I was like, "Oh, good for you." But you're not going to be able to do that with something as complex as Unreal Engine or with something as complex as Autodesk Maya or Photoshop. If it was easy to build another Photoshop, like I'll give you an example. If you think you can build another Nuke or After Effects, please go tell Claude, go to Claude and tell Claude to reverse engineer After Effects and build you your own After Effects in 2 months. If you think it's that easy, go ahead. You're going to find out that building software of this caliber, it doesn't happen in 2 months. It doesn't happen in 6 months. It takes years. Okay? It takes years. So you're not going to build a Univah. You're not going to build something like this in Claude. Good luck. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Okay? Everybody would be doing it if it was as easy as you think. So that was a little reality check there that I had to give them because they just, no offense to them, but they just don't know what they don't know. And they don't know the difference between an app and a platform. We're not building an app. This isn't some silly little app that you download on your Android. This is a platform. It's a film platform for filmmakers. So there's a lot going on in the back end. Okay. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to go to AI. I'm going to use Claude to reverse engineer and I'm going to make my own version of Unreal Engine from scratch. I'm like, yeah, good luck. I'm going to do it in 2 months. Like, that's what this guy was telling me. He thinks he can go to Claude and he's like, yeah, Claude is amazing. Claude, with AI you can write thousands of lines of code in just a few minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, but you have to know what to write. You have to know we're not making a simple text application here. This is a film engine. We're making graphics applications. Graphics applications are difficult to code because it's graphics. You have to first know Vulkan, DirectX, OpenGL. You have to know these things. Okay. So um, you have to set up an OpenGL context. You have to set up a Vulkan context. You have to set up a DirectX context. You have to know how to set things up yourself. And then you have to know how to compile a graphics application. And then you have to know how to debug a graphics application. Okay. So even just to do shadows can be very complicated. It can take you months just to get your shadows right for each light. So, yeah, good luck thinking you're going to build something this complex in 2 months or 6 months. Not going to happen. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Okay. So, that's just, a little reality check there for them because they just don't know what they're talking about, quite frankly.